Hey everybody, so what I have here for you today is my Aimpoint Duty RDS that I've had about 5 or 6 months now, and I've run it through a bunch of classes and private lessons and some training on my own with its standard height. And I just got a Unity fast-micro-s series tall optic mount in black for this to get a little bit of a higher rise. But really the reason why I got it, the other big reason I got it, I should say not really, but the other big reason I got it is this. I always want to run a magnifier behind this or behind most of my optics. And problem is I don't like when they flip to the side. So you have the pop up, the lock to center magnifier that Unity makes, where it comes straight up and straight down, so it stays center of the gun, therefore not sticking off either side. So now I can run that without having to deal with the thing hanging off the side, catching on gear, getting damaged or something like that, because I have a couple Aimpoint 3x magnifiers. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this onto the new mount. So here we go. Let's see. Let's check the new mount out. I'll pop this thing open. See what comes in here. All right. Oh, and that flip to center magnifier that I got is coming in hopefully next week. So you'll see a mount on that. So here we go. Here we have the new mount. Okay. Let's see what it comes with. So we have the mount. And we have an Allen key and 4 new nuts to lock it on there. I pop those open. There we go. So we have our Allen. Actually, it's a hex. My apologies. And the 4 new nuts to mount the optic onto the riser. Here we go. So let's see. I have a Torx bit there. Let me grab the right size for that. There we go. So that's a T25. So I got my T25 Allen for here. But first we have to get this off of the gun and mounted onto this. Then we can secure that down. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I've never had any issues with this Aimpoint mount coming loose. The only thing I want to do is get it higher so I can keep my head up more, and I want to get that magnifier directly behind it. So you can see, it's hard to see, but through those holes are the 4 hex head bolts holding the optic onto the riser, the mount that it has on it. Right, this doesn't have a riser as well as a mount, just a mount. So let's go. Let's see if we can get those. I'm going to grab a different Allen. Or Torx bit, I should say. My apologies. Okay, here we have a T10. Should be a T10, so let's get that off. I will store the spare parts in the box right here. There's one. Eventually I'll put these in a bag and I'll mark them for what they're for. 2. 3. And 4. There we go. So one thing that did not come in the box was directions. So I went on their website, looked up directions for the fast micro-s mount, and I found a set of directions. Here they are. Okay, and it doesn't say much. you know, for mounting the optic to the mount, so remove the current mount from the optic. Then it says use the screws supplied, tighten the screws in the next pattern till they're finger tight, then give an 1/8 to a 1/4 turn with the supplied wrench. Do not exceed the manufacturer's recommended torque specs. But they don't tell you what the torque specs are for these little guys right there. If I had to guess, they'd be anywhere from 15 to 25 inch-pounds. So those things look pretty clean. I like to clean stuff anyway. So what I'm gonna do is I have some acetone here, and I'm gonna give everything a little clean, just the bottom of the optic. So I'm gonna clean the bottom of the optic a little with a little acetone, just to make sure. That stuff dries pretty fast, because there's no sense in having any dirt on the interface. See, a little bit came off there. I will then take each screw, give it a little wipe the other side of the cloth just to make sure there's no oil on them. Okay. Now it doesn't say anything about using any kind of Loctite or thread locker compound. Doesn't say anything about that. So your guess is as good as mine. I've mounted a lot of stuff in the past, and I feel that a little bit of thread locker never hurts. For something like this, since it's not going to heat up, I'll probably go with the lightest thread locker I can find, which is the from Loctite, which is their purple, I think, thread locker. It's more like a gel. So there you go. Those 4 clean. Okay. And clean the interface on here just in case. I'm just using a standard patch for a bore. Nothing crazy there. Okay. So, question is do I use thread locker on there? And like I said earlier, a little low strength thread locker never hurts. So a couple ways you can apply this. The first is get the screws set up, put a dab on the screws and let it dry. The second is put it on wet. You know, a lot of times I hear let it dry. I like that idea. But for the sake of the video today, I'm going to probably do it a little wet. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the back of a wooden Q-tip. Okay? I'm just going to put a little itty bitty bit on each one. I mean, it's really, really small amount. You don't need like tons of this stuff. I don't have a big drop coming off, as you can see. Sorry for going off camera there for a second. I'm just rubbing the stick on there and getting a little bit of that purple on there. Okay. So all 4 of those are done now. Cap back on my thread locker. Again, I'm using the Loctite 222 thread locker, low strength. Okay, so now it's time to mount the optic. I probably could mount it either way. It looks like it's universal in that manner. Let me get the mount off. I do need to take the mount off to get to the screw holes. So this is a T25 to get these off. They did not supply that, and makes sense. Can't supply everything. They're not on there very tight or anything like that. Now remember when I'm done, so each one of these, so look, just be careful with this kind of stuff. So each one came with a little thin washer. See that? Okay. Don't want to lose that. So what I'll do when it comes time to mount those on, looks like there's a little bit of thread locker on those right there at the end. Interesting. What I will do is I will clean this interface. I'll clean those, put a dab of that thread locker on there and tighten those down. Again, if it's not getting heated up, and I'm not going to get excessive recoil, which is, I don't think this rifle puts out excessive recoil. Most rifles don't, of the small calibers. I'm perfectly happy running the purple thread locker on there. Time will tell. I'm sure I'll get some mean email from somebody about it. So it does go on a very specific way. So you see you have the large rib on this side, you have the smaller rib on this side, large rib on this side, smaller rib on that side. So bazinga, there we go. All right, now I need to get those in there and lock them down. So what I'll probably do is drop these in using this. Let's see, good way to do this. So first I'll get them in, I'll get them threaded in there. Okay, so one in, there I got one in. They're all lined, that's lined up well, okay. Now number two. So those things where you kind of got to hold the screwdriver up, drop the optic onto it. Now, you don't have to do a crisscross pattern right now. That's when you go to tighten it. Right now, just get these on there. Patterns are relevant. That's when it comes to really to start getting your final tightening. Then you want to make sure that it's not that's right. Oops. He did a fall out of the hole there. Okay. Number three in there loosely. And now number four. Now, if you start to put these in just like any nut and you feel any resistance, I would stop immediately and check the nut, the threading. I'd even go as far as take the mount off, check the threading without the mount on there, see if everything mounts in tight. So now I'm going to start giving a little, so that's hand tight right there. It says give it an 1/8 to a 1/4 turn. There we go. Now I'll go across over to what would be, I guess, the front, the back left side. Now I'll go to the front left side. I started out with the front right side. Got a nice torque. Okay, and then back left side. Right side, back right side. Okay, I'll go check them all one more time. Like that one right there. I don't know if I missed it, I hit the wrong hole or something, but this one was, it turned. You know, the others I was giving a little tension, they weren't turning. That one turned, so now it's time they're tight. So there we go. So that's mounted. Yeah. You see the screws in there, the nuts, I should say. Now it's a matter of putting the mount on the rifle wherever I want, and then getting to the range to zero it. So here we go. Let me do a quick cleaning of my threads. Let me get my acetone. Clean these threads real quick. You smell acetone, it air dries pretty fast, but I like to get any debris off of these that I can. So, see that? A little bit of brown there, not much. Here we go. So I've retained, see that? There's a little bit of dirt on there. So, hey, better to get it off now than have anything binding up. Okay, and I can take Q-tip like this. See if I can get it in the holes a little bit. Get in the holes, clean out in the holes. See, like that. See all that? There we go. Whatever that yellow compound was they used, some of that came out as well. Okay, so here we go. Okay, let me stand this bad boy up.
Yes, my master.
Okay. Okay, so it is going to go right here, right in this area. Let's see, so I got it on. Put it right up there. Let me do it this way. You might be able to see it better. Okay, so I have that on. So now I would need the mount on this side. And it looks like the mount goes either way. It doesn't look like there's a top or bottom for this. Okay. Okay, so that's where I'm going to put it. Now let me get a little bit of my, one of my brushes, a little bit of my purple Loctite again. And no, nothing crazy. Yeah, there's not much on there, right? Just a little bit on the threads. Anything to help it not accidentally unthread. You can take a little tip there. See, I'm getting a little of that excess off. This washer's still on there, right? Just enough. Yeah, be careful. I mean, I would try to avoid getting any debris from lint from that on there, but here we go. Okay, so this is going to require me not to be like great at showing it on camera because I have to have it both sides. So let's see if I can get this thing started. Yep, easy enough. All right, push in, there we go. Okay, that one's started. Yes, my master. That one started. That's my phone. Let me know I have somebody trying to contact me for something. Get that. Get that down there. Okay. Now, keep it a little loose at the moment. This doesn't. There's a little bit of movement in that. See, back and forth. See that? So I'm going to rock it all the way to the front. A little bit of tightness. Now this requires 35 inch-pounds. Okay, 35 inch-pounds. It's inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. You go to directions, make sure I have that right. 35 inch-pounds. Got my little inch-pounds torque wrench. The delay, folks. Stand by one moment. There we go. Got my fat wrench here. Got the right size. That's all loose. The bigger one. That's too big. One's too loose, one's too big. Let me see what I have over here. Everybody stand by one moment. I found my stuff. Okay, get this thing down to 35. Right now it's at 40. Okay, it's about 35 right there. Let's go, let's give this a torque. There we go. Okay, she's mounted. 35 inch-pounds, snug, and then an 1/8 to a 1/4 turn past snug. Everything was clean, everything's mounted, and now I have my tall sight on the Optic. So next what will happen is I'll take this to the range to re-zero the gun, because I have to re-zero it. First I'll bore sight it, so I'm not spending all day doing that. And I'm not wasting ammo, but there we go. That's the first part of this project done. bore sighting. This is the second part. The third part will be putting my Aimpoint magnifier on behind it. If I all right, so what I probably do next is I'll take these off, right, because these are pretty much useless on here, because this is not a quick disconnect, right? So there's really no need for me to have flip up iron sights on this rifle anymore. I have choices. I have offset iron sights I could put on here, or I could put a backup iron sight, or I could just trust the fact that I will change this battery when I need to and run the gun with just the optic on it. Everybody's got their own choice. Don't hate me for my choice. Just do what you want to do, right? That's all we got to do. Just be nice to people. That doesn't take a lot. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Any questions about the rifle, about what I just did, the project, just hit me up in the comments below, and let's see what happens. Off to the range in a couple days. Later, everybody.